Well, it's not very often that I get over to the Midwest, you know, and fish for something other than walleyes.
But hey, it's cold up there, so you got to come down here, right?
It is cold, yep. I think all you know, Uncle Keith, right? Owned the Next Bite for a long time. Shot a lot of Next Bite shows. There's no way I wasn't going to come down here and shoot a Next Bite show.
Right. And I had one goal when they came down, and that was to hurt their arms so bad with fish that you know that they would want to come back again.
We brought longtime friend Jon Tennessen. Used to fish against him in tournaments way back in the day. We're going to go out there and we're going to try to do exactly what you just said, aren't we?
Hurt your arms.
Where are we at? What are we doing, Keith?
We're going to go out offshore. We're going to be probably fishing on a wreck. We're going to hope to get maybe some grouper. I know for sure we're probably going to get some amberjack. We're just going to hurt these guys. I'm telling you that right now.
We're going to have fun.
We are.
And we're going to show you the next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, just looking for the next bite.
Nobody likes fishing more than Keith. When he decided a winter in Florida, we knew it wouldn't be long before he had the fish dialed in and one of the guys was going to visit. When fishing the Gulf of Mexico, it's important to know just how long it takes to get to a fishing spot. With the potential of hours of running, Keith's goal is to prepare for any situation he may encounter miles from shore. Although the goal is to fish for amberjack with bucktail jigs, stopping to catch some bait fish as a backup is a good idea.
Squirrel, squirrel.
This one's gonna get 8 today. Big amberjack. Get ready.
All right, we can go in now. That's what I flew to Florida for.
Keith said if the amberjack are not biting, having trapped and caught live bait on board is a good idea to fire up a school of amberjack.
So while Chase is battling another amberjack here, let me just tell you a little bit about where we're fishing. Obviously, we're in the Gulf of Mexico. We're a little bit north of Tampa. And this part of the bay is a little bit different than some of the other parts in that it's very shallow. And by that I mean for the first about 15 miles out here, it only goes down about a foot a mile. After that, maybe 2 foot a mile. So even though we're out here in 60 feet, we had to come out 30, 35 miles out here to get to it. We're actually fishing around a wreck. And what happens out by these wrecks is the amberjack will hang around those wrecks and kind of move around them suspended. So they're fairly easy to find. I just use either regular sonar or my active target. We get on top of them. We start out a lot of times with live bait, but then pretty quick we like to get to jigs because it's just that much more fun. So it's a fun place to fish. It's a little far out here, but well worth the run.
All right, coming back this way.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a decent one. There you go, young man. First one, isn't it?
First one. Oh, man.
Got it?
Yep. Wow. My back hurts. Everything hurts.
Can't help you there, man.
First amberjack, Keither. That was fun. It's crazy though, like I was saying, I mean, we had weight on one for a while that I was holding and we couldn't get bit on it.
Had a 2-ounce sinker about 4 feet up just to kind of get it down quicker, and they would not touch it.
Yeah. It didn't take long for this one to come get one.
Free did one and swam down.
That beast back, huh?
Might as well. Torpedo them in when you do it.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Schaefer's Specialized Lubricant. Putting equipment first. Nitro Boats. Performance Fishing Boats. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley, your fish, our science. And Power Pole, total boat control.
Next bite.
Closed captioning for The Next Bite is provided by Whitewater, built to brave the waves. Upsizing all of your equipment is the name of the game in the ocean compared to freshwater fishing. Heavier rods, line, and leaders are important to get hard-fighting fish to the boat.
We're sitting out on a wreck here, and these amberjack know where that wreck is, and if they get close to it, even though we're using 65-pound test braid and a 80-pound fluorocarbon leader, they touch that old wreck with that old metal, old rusty metal, and it's just like cutting it with a knife.
Keith prefers Fusion 19 bucktail jigs. Fusion 19 hooks have a slick set coating that makes the metal slippery, allowing the hook to slide in past the barb in a fish's mouth more easily. The bucktail jig is a perfect pairing with a Fusion 19 hook.
So let me talk a little bit about one of the presentations that we're using here today, and it's a hair jig. This is a Berkeley Fusion 19 bucktail jig, either in 3/4 ounce or 1 ounce. The white colors have seemed to have been really good, and one of the keys with this jig, why they're so good for the amberjacks, is the stoutness of this hook. You don't have any hooks bending out. You're able to fight these aggressive amberjack and get these things all the way to the boat, but we're actually tipping it with shrimp. And down here they call these select shrimp. They're a little bit larger in size, and let me show you how we're hooking this shrimp onto these bucktail jigs. You're basically going in the tail right through the shell from the top down. You're gonna spin it under and take that hook point right up through the top center. So that shrimp is sitting actually backwards, just like it would be in real life, on that hair jig right there. You let that thing down, make sure you get it in the zone where all these amberjack are, and hold on to the rod when they hit.
I told you jigs were fun.
Yeah. Ooh. 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 It's amazing these rods just don't snap. I gotta take some layers off. Just sweating.
Can you get them or you need help?
I think I can get them. I think I'll get them.
80-pound leader. Oh, nice save.
Yeah.
Those are those Fusion 19 hair jigs.
Yeah.
The reason I like them out here is they got that really stout hook on them. So even with all that pull, they don't straighten out at all.
It handled this one pretty good.
Very nice, very nice.
Ooh. I gotta take some layers off, Keith, or diet here.
Sun's coming out, the fish are biting. It's Florida.
All right. Oh, very nice.
Total Control, presented by Power Pole. 20 years of trust evolved from Total Boat Control.
Okay, I just want to take a moment and give you a couple of scenarios here and leave you with a good mindset, especially about forward-facing sonar. Now you've seen where we've talked a lot about forward-facing sonar, particularly in the last 2 years, where we use a sonar to track down individual fish, and we try to trigger those fish to bite. It's a way in which you can catch big fish. Then you have the other scenario, which we have here today. We're fishing this basin area. There's not a lot of suspended fish. They're almost all tight to the bottom, and the ones that are tight to the bottom are tight enough that they all look about the same size. But the bottom line is there's so many fish that in that situation, I give up on the individual stuff. I try to go along with my trolling motor until I get right into the bunch of a big bunch of them, okay? And then I'll put anchor lock down. And then myself and the partners that I have in the boat, we will fan cast completely around the boat. until we've picked off every active fish that wants to bite. In many cases, these basin fish aren't real active. They're not going to hammer it every single cast. So you have to go by a fair number of them to get one to actually react to your bait. So it's really kind of cool. Two different ways, entirely different ways to use your forward-facing sonar, and at times each one becomes the best thing to try to use.
You got one? Yeah. Just work them slow up. You got to lift with the rod and reel with the reel. Looks like a pretty good one too. Looks like a real good one.
Yeah, I'm done after this one.
One and done. Old Tennessen, one and done.
Man.
Old Mako, about 25 miles an hour on the way out. Tom got a little bait. Big. Kind of just bring him to me and I'll get him for you. All right, here we go. Oh, I got you. There you go. Here, you can take your beast. Look at that sucker. That's a good one.
I'm done.
When I got that big old, head on that sucker, old 5/0 hook, using 19 circle hook. Got him right where it's supposed to, right in the corner of the mouth, so it doesn't hurt the fish at all. Just gonna circle it back out. Yeah. There you go. What a nice fish. Holy smoke. Okay, let me talk a little bit of how we're presenting these bucktail jigs, or even the live bait that we've been throwing. First of all, you want to look at your screen. Like right now, if you look at that, you can see fish down at about 40, 45 feet down. So what I want to do is try and position this jig right above them. And what I use is a sweep of the rod. So basically, I'm going to take one sweep, two sweeps, and I go about 6 feet on my sweep. So about from the water to the top of my head here. 3 sweeps, 4 sweeps. So we'll stop at 5 sweeps here. So 5 sweeps put me about 30. Actually, I'm gonna go 6 sweeps, 36 feet. So I'm a little bit above those fish right now. 6 times 6, 36. Now what I'll do a lot of times is just work that jig right there a little bit. All right, and I'll pop it just a little bit. You can actually get a pretty aggressive pop if you want to. I've just found that a little bit less today has been what I've been doing. But after I pop it a few times, if I don't have a fish, then what I want to do is switch my position in the water column. So I'll just give it another sweep down. So that's going to let that jig drop just a hair deeper. It's falling through them fish, and I start popping it again. If I still don't get it, I'm going to keep doing it again. I'm going to keep moving that bait in the water column, give them a little bit of time at each level to kind of see it and maybe bite it. But then after I do that, I'm finally going to get down to where I'm all the way through those fish and down to the bottom. So here's when I do something a little bit different. First of all, when I hit bottom, and I can feel that bottom even with that 3/4 ounce jig, I'm going to just bounce it on that bottom a few times. And a lot of times what that does is get their attention, but amberjack don't typically want to bite on the bottom. So what I'll then do is, what I want to do is rip that jig up off the bottom. And the way I do that is I reel 6 times quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and then I just work it again. And a lot of times they see that rip up beyond them, and that's when they're actually going to pound it. So if you work in the water column, either by stopping it and then working it down a little each sweep, or once you hit the bottom, rip it up above them, that's what's going to attract amberjack, and that's what's going to put some fish in the boat for you. Oop, there we go. Oh God, I missed him. How did I miss that?
Got him, Keith?
No. Oh, there he came back.
I got one.
I was ripping it up after I missed the hook set, and he came up and just whacked it. You got one too?
Yep. I was just trying to stay quiet over here.
Except for all the grunting you do when you fight.
Yeah.
Hey Chase, I got mine, man.
Must be little.
No, it's a monster. You're just a lightweight.
You must have a little one.
Oh, biggest one of the day.
Day I got
Right here, biggest one.
They got a name for him. That's called Powder Puff.
Powder puff, huh? Yeah, youngest guy in the boat, grunting the most.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. I see it.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh boy, that is a good one. That is a good one. Oh, large head. Look at that.
Hey, see, I told you, that's why it was taking me so long.
That's a good one there. Smoking big one.
Oh,
Crazy. Circle hug here. I'll give you your fish.
Unreal.
Right in the corner, right where we want it.
Hey, youngest guy in the boat and huffing and puffing?
Yeah.
Come on. Let me hold this thing.
Yeah, now you gotta hold it and you'll be puffing more.
I know. Oh, is this fun?
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's so many of them down there too. It's just like...
Well worth the ride, isn't it?
Oh, it's worth the ride. I'll be back.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Schaefer's Specialized Lubricant. Putting equipment first. Nitro Boats. Performance Fishing Boats. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Your fish, our science. Lowrance. The ultimate fishing system. And Power Pole. Total boat control. Hot topics, leading information and tackling techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
This is a new marine product. It just came out. It's called Extreme Marine, and it works just like the Soy Ultra does for cars and trucks and things like that. Basically, it's an additive. Once you get the tank conditioned, at first you might have to put in, you know, up to a full bottle or maybe even more. But after that, it's only a few ounces for every 20 gallons. So it's pretty easy to use. I use it in both my big engine and my kicker. The kickers especially like to load up with carbon in cold weather, and this cleans that right out. It's a really nice material. I carry it in the truck all the time. And like I said, I put in about 20 gallons, so I don't have to put that much in, and it works quite well. It's well worth it for you to spend, you know, a little bit extra money to ensure that your outboards are going to last for a lifetime.
The best part about fishing in the ocean is how hard the fish fight.
Oh.
Squirrel fishing here. Oh, what are you doing with that one? Huh?
Just gotta.
I used to enjoy the
keep my eyes.
nice, peaceful quiet out here, you know, catch a few fish, do this. Now I've heard all day. Run, run, run.
You gotta put the coals to him, Keither.
Judging by the amount of grunting from Chase, he definitely agrees. Using your equipment properly can take some of the strain out of your lower back and help you fight fish up to the boat and away from sharp shipwrecks.
So this is a really good reminder on how to fight these fish down here when you're fighting these amberjack. You know, I spent a lot of time down in Florida myself, and what you really need to do is use the rod for how it's designed. And it's basically a lift in reel motion. So lift up. If he's pulling drag like that, don't fight against him. Let him make his run, lift up, reel down. You want to make sure you keep tension on the rod and the line the whole time, but you got to keep up to him. Up and down.
Oh, weird. I was trying to drop down this bigger rod for a grouper, and I got something monstrous on. Oh, I almost slipped. Whatever's below me almost got me. That would have been a good video, huh, boys? Me going in head first?
That would have been.
Huh?
That would have been
Made
my
the show.
favorite.
Probably made the show.
It would have been my favorite part.
Okay, he is.
It looks pretty nice.
Big old amberjack. He was just so high. He's a big one, and he was so high. He had a lot of spunk left in him. You can just grab that leader, that line, and lift him right in. Let's see you do that.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
There's a good one. Big old fatty. He's, again, not very happy with us. Yeah.
That's why it took a little bit.
Big old 10-aught hook that is.
So that thing hit as
On
you
the
were
way
dropping it down.
On the way down. They call these the reef donkey. It's because they fight like a donkey. All right, let me get him back in here. Big boy. Oh, that was a 10-0. No splash. Judges say 10, 10-0, 10-0. Look at the size of that hog. This is like the big gray squirrel.
Yeah,
Mine's a little bigger than yours.
yeah, it is a little bigger.
I've been doing a little longer, so there you go.
This has been incredible, Keith.
If your arms aren't sore now, they never will be.
They are sore. My lungs hurt. My legs hurt. My feet hurt.
It was worth it, wasn't it?
It was totally worth
Yeah, I
it.
came out here on this wreck and used the active target, saw the fish out there. They're up suspended, and I know when they're suspended, they're going to be active. So,
JT, you're pretty quiet, buddy.
well, you know,
You've been taking a break the last couple
I'm
minutes.
taking a break. I need a rest.
great
What an awesome day, man. I appreciate it, guys. Fun time. Thanks, Keith.
This is something, if you haven't done, you got to get down here and do this. Unbelievable.
Well, let's fire up the old Merc and head for the barn, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, man.